What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the show. And guys, football is finally here. We don't have to wait anymore. From this point on, we will be having football every single Saturday. That's a lovely thing. Now, guys, let me straighten this up a little bit. Now, guys, we're going to talk about the MEAC SWAC Challenge. And at the end, I'll give my prediction on who I think is going to win this game. But let's start with Alabama State. Now, guys, Alabama State comes into this game with a lot of new parts, a lot of new shiny toys, and like you got the new coaching staff, you got the new quarterback, you got all this talent that you brought with you, and now you're ready to all put it together and see how they mesh. Now, some of the guys that I'm excited to see, some who are new to the team, some who aren't. Number one, Demetrius Davis. We know what a great talent he has been at North Shore High School in Texas. That is a great program to come from. Now, he's been so good in high school. I mean, he even had Lamar Jackson tweeting about him and sharing one of his clips. He was just that dynamic. He gets to Auburn. Doesn't play in his first year, but Blue being an Auburn fan, he's still very high on Demetrius Davis, even though he's not at Auburn anymore. That tells you everything you need to know, right? Even though he doesn't play at Auburn and he hasn't played a game in college football yet, he comes here to Alabama State where you expect him to take those first team snaps. If he's anything like how he was in high school, you're looking at him to come out right away and be box office. You're looking for him. My ceiling for him is that he comes out today and he puts the SWAC on notice, like, I'm here. And y'all gonna have to deal with me. And y'all gonna have to deal with Alabama State. That's the ceiling. The floor that I would have for him is that he comes out and he knocks the rust off and he gets himself used to being a true college athlete, like a starter at the college football level, because again, he has not played in a game in college football yet. He's going to today. So, the ceiling, he lets the SWAC know, I'm here. The floor, he gets used to being a starter for the first time. And, he'll continue to get better as the weeks progress. But Demetrius Davis, very excited to see him. Also for Alabama State, my God, Jeremiah Hickson. I am so excited for Jeremiah Hickson. As a matter of fact, when I made the HBCU Superlative Series, I said too many people sleep on him. Why? Because I'm a very big fan of his game. When I don't watch Alabama State a lot, but a guy who I always do watch is Jeremiah Hickson when he is on that screen. Why? Because he's a dynamic athlete at receiver. And every time you see him, he seems to always be open. Always open. And unfortunately, he hasn't been the recipient of great quarterback play throughout his time in Alabama State. Now he has one, because I believe in Demetrius Davis. So now he has one. Now that he has legitimate quarterback play, we're going to see his game go up another level. So if I'm Howard, I'm hoping that I have a DB who's ready to really see Jeremiah Hickson at full strength, because, man, this dude, lights out, dynamic. This we know. After that, though, you look at Alabama State as a whole squad. You finished 5-6 last year. They were undefeated at home, which was something that I didn't even know, and a lot of people didn't really talk about. They were 5-0 at home. But you look at the guys who they were against, right? Miles College coming out week 1. You go into overtime with that game of a Division II prospect, a very good Division II prospect, but still, and you win 14-13. Tuskegee was another win that you blew those guys out, but still Division II. And, you look at their home wins, and it wasn't really that strong. You got past Texas Southern 24-21. I know that. But overall, it's impressive that you finished undefeated at home. But, the opponents just wasn't really that good. Then you look at the neutral site total for last year. They were 0-1 in that. This is not the same team as last season. This is just the momentum that they're building off from last year. So you see the games that, where the opponents were really on their level or a little bit above their level, they struggled and they lost. So it's going to be interesting to see now that they've come back with a reinforced team, with a new coaching staff, if they're going to be able to come out the gate swinging and just knock some of these opponents back down to size at their first try. It's going to be interesting. But first, as far as them and Howard goes, I think it's a more intriguing matchup than people realize, because These two are sort of middle of the pack kind of teams in their conference. People are going to look at Howard and say, nah, Howard was bottom tier. Howard is not the same team they were last year. The MEAC is a dog-eat-dog conference. When it came to all those teams last year, Howard just had the lesser talent. They don't anymore. They're ready. I believe that they take the next step this season. So transferring to Howard, right? Howard has pieces. It's so hard to describe them as a team because they have the pieces to really make a bigger impact than what they do on a normal basis. And for the first guy I want to start with, right, Eden James, that's a guy that you should look out for. The all-freshman running back, right, the true freshman running back, son of former NFL running back and Hall of Famer Edgerrin James. Eden is ready. I can promise you that. He's most likely going to have split carries, but Eden is ready. Why? He's been on campus longer than a lot of freshmen in college football. He's played in the spring game. He's practiced with the team. His chemistry with that team is down. You feel me? He is used to the speed more than a lot of freshmen going into week 0 or week 1 would be because he spent longer with his coaching staff and, practicing with his team at full speed. Although full game speed and practice speed is different, still, Eden James is going to be ready. And if he does his part coming into this game, it gives Howard a leg. And again, it's not just him at running back. He's going to be splitting carries with Jared Hunter, who is also one of the 8 guys that Howard has who is preseason All-MEAC. But then you look at guys on the defensive side of the ball, like Darian Brokenberg. Oh my God, is he a beast at defensive end? Number 3, make sure you watch out for him as well. He's a force when stopping the run. He can also get to your quarterback as well. Very dynamic, very versatile at the defensive end position. So, if you don't have anybody to block him, Demetrius Davis could be on the run a lot. Depends on what side Darian Brokenberg lines up on. So if I'm Howard, maybe I use him in many different angles when trying to get to Demetrius. All right, on top of that, going back to the offensive side, Ian Wheeler. Oh my God, I became a fan of him after the Hampton game, man. Dude is dynamic. He's always been there for Howard. He's a guy who can definitely get the band playing if you need him to. Like Ian Wheeler, they have pieces. They have 8 pieces in total. Not in total, but right now, who can go out and really produce for you. Which is why I'm going to go with Howard. I'm going to go with Howard to win this game. The MEAC has a continued reign over the SWAC in games like this and just overall. They've been doing their thing against the SWAC. Betting against the MEAC when they go against the SWAC is probably like betting against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. All right? You just don't do it. You don't do it. So respectfully, Alabama State fans, I'm going with Howard. Now, if y'all win this game and you win it handedly, I'll admit I'm wrong. I have no problem doing that. I was wrong about the last MEAC and SWAC challenge, and I went on there and I apologized to North Carolina Central. So I have no problem apologizing to y'all if I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm gonna be right on this. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, let me know who you think is going to win down below. Again, football is back. This is a joyous occasion. We are ready. We are so ready. With that being said, man, you're watching the CFL podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Orr.